record the webinar. Is it? Is it recording? Yeah, okay. Right, thank you very much. So today we'll be talking about the network management. My name is Achmad Mardiansyah and I'm from JLC Networks Indonesia. Yeah, agenda for tonight's webinars are introduction for those who are new to JLC Networks, review prerequisite knowledge, network management, infrastructure monitoring, live practice, and perhaps we're going to have a Q&A at the end. So introductions, we are GLC, Generalistas Cakrawala, based in Bandung, Indonesia. We are doing training in IT consulting. We are doing MikroTik, Ubiquiti, Linux. We also do, we have our own product, GLC Radius Manager, and then we do regular event like we are doing today. That is the GLC Networks webinar. My name is Achmad. I'm based in Bandung. I'm Linux user, MikroTik user, Ubiquiti user, Cisco user, PHP user, MySQL user, PostgreSQL user, many users. I'm doing training. I teach several courses that relates to the networking, system administration, and programming. I do writing article in some websites, so you can take a look. And also I have a LinkedIn account here. So if you don't mind, we can connect together. And about past experience, we do network support, network integrations in several countries, in Malaysia, in Singapore, in UK, in the other countries, in Europe, in several countries. So mostly related to networking, and then not only networking, but we also do network integration, because that kind of things requires those skills like networking, system administration, and then some programming. All right, about the webinar itself, we started in 2010, and then if you want to be one of a presenter, you're welcome to do so. Just let us know, and then we discuss further about that. And for yourself, I think some of you already introduced yourself. Okay, mostly are Indonesian. Okay, some are not. I can see here's Madhavan from India, Privesh Khan from UK. Okay, welcome. Oh, it's quite far away from here. Anyone else? Not from Indonesia? Okay, you can say something in the group chat here. At least we know where you're from. Just introduce yourself. At least we know where you're from. All right. Prerequisite. At least we assume you already know how networking works, about the things about the encapsulations, IP addressing, subnet mask. We assume you already know how to set up a simple network, and then you are familiar with networking devices, okay, like router, switches, access point, and so on and so forth. Okay, let's discuss some prerequisite knowledge. So we just review, we don't talk detail about that. So when we talk about the networking, we know that when we set up a networking technology, we develop the networking system. We call it system. I call it system in the layered manner. So we have several layers, and then one layer is responsible for one function. So that the benefit of this layered system like this, so that we can update one layer, particular layer, without affecting other layers. Okay, so as you can see, we have lots of improvement in a layer 2. Yeah, for example, we have Ethernet and then fast Ethernet, 10 Mbps Ethernet, fast Ethernet, which is 100 Mbps. We have 1 gig Ethernet or 1 gig Ethernet based on fiber, 1 gig Ethernet based on the copper wire. Okay, so anything, lots of things of happening in layer 2, but on layer 3, it still stay the same. And also we have IPv4 and IPv6. They are independent to each other. Okay, so it means that the benefit of using layered approach like this is one layer is independent to the other layers. So yeah, that's the benefit, and as well as the drawbacks. Okay. For example, yeah, the benefit is if something changes, it will not affect other layers. Okay, and then that's the drawback. Okay, for example, it's very slow to adapt IPv6. Why? Because not so many ISP, not so many network adopt the IPv6, and then IPv4 is already vanished. The last IP address block for IPv4 is already allocated, and then there is, if you want to apply for a new block of IP address IPv4, there is no resources anymore because it's already vanished, right? Yeah, so yeah, that's how we develop networking models. And then how we can communicate if those layers are independent to each other. Well, there is a process called encapsulation like this. So data from upper layer will be wrapped by a lower layer. Okay, so more and more data is wrapped. Yeah, it's like the one here. So this is the data that you send. If you are sending a message on Facebook, WhatsApp, or any other application, and then by the time goes, the header becomes longer and longer. Okay, that is called encapsulations. And when the packets arrive at the destination, the process is called decapsulation. So this is how the header looks like on layer 4. This is layer 3 header, layer 2 header, for example. If the technology is Ethernet, this one is header for Wi-Fi. And then if you notice, this is what you send on your WhatsApp, hello, and 1 bit represent, or it's a real bit, one box here representing 1 byte equals to 8 bits. And then you can see there are lots of encapsulations overhead here. So this is what you send, on your application, but this is what really the computer sent. Okay, so so you can see there is a huge what is it, overhead. Okay, when you send a data. So the more technologies like you're using MPLS, PPOE, whatever, it will add the header longer and longer. Okay, if you add, for example, whatever over whatever, yeah, like tunnel over VPN over encryption over whatever, and then actually the payload is getting decreased because those payload is used for encapsulating the payload from previous technology. Okay, so like whatever over whatever, like PPTB, for example, MPLS over PPPoE, MPLS, whatever, or yeah, you can see lots of fancy names if you attend the MikroTik user meeting. Okay, so at least you are familiar with the basic device in the network, like hub, switch, router, and firewall. Okay, So on which layer that's working. Like hub is working on layer 1, switch on layer 2 because they're working based on layer 2 information. Router is on layer 3. Firewall is can be work on any layer, depends on the configurations, and so on and so forth. And then at least you know the difference between router and routing. Okay, the router is the device, routing is the process. Okay, and then usually when we develop a network, usually we draw the logical topology first. Okay, which consists of the information how the layer 3 network is designed, is connected to each other. Okay, so layer 3 is a networking layer. Okay, network layer, and then layer 3 contains information about addressing. Okay, addressing and path determination. So routing and then addressing is on layer 3. So that kind of things is part of logical diagram or logical topology. And then based on the logical topology, we are breaking down into a physical topology. Okay. Oh, okay. So physical topology first. Okay. So this is how physical topology. Yeah. So physical topology give you an example of how the physical network is created. Okay. So where is the network? Okay. This is the routers. Okay. Routers, and then the routers is connected via layer 2. Okay, so the blue one here is layer 3. Oops. Yeah. So maybe you can use other colors. Yeah, orange. So red here is layer 2, blue here is layer 3. Okay, so that's how physical topology looks like. That shows you how the network device is connected to each other physically. So after that, you have the logical topology and then the routing tables. And then we talk about the network management. So network management is a term that, so basically in the beginning, the title of this webinar is about the network monitoring, infrastructure monitoring. But later on I found, okay, perhaps that is not what I'm talking about here. The more appropriate title is the network management. So how you manage the network. So it's not only the things that you focusing on the physical monitoring. So it is beyond that. Okay, not only talking about, okay, I do monitoring using SNMP, using SSH or whatever, but it's beyond that. Okay, so we are talking about several aspects of how you manage your network. Okay, so that is what it means by network management. And then one way for managing the networks, this is done. This work was done by ISO, International Standard Organization. So they are saying that, okay, if you have a network, telecommunication network, computer network, well, at least there are several aspects that you need to care about. And then this aspect is called FCAPs. Okay. What are they? F means fault management, configuration management, accounting management, performance management, security management. That's what they are. That's what they say based on their research or whatever. Okay, so that's what they say. I mean, you can check their own you can check their own standards about FCAPs for more details in their website. Okay. Okay, so let's discuss more about the FCAPs here. So fault management. So fault management is fault means if something wrong happened in your network is called fault. So that includes fault monitoring, fault database, fault analysis. Okay, so if something wrong happens, at least you have to have a way to record them for monitoring them. You need to be able to analyze them. Okay, so that is fault management. And then configuration management is like every network device must have a configuration. Okay, and then that configuration must be stored somewhere. Okay, so it means that you need to have a system that takes cares about those functions. It's like device configurations, backup and restore, and then sometimes device discovery. If you have a new IP address, and then it will scan and then check. Also for accounting management, yeah, it's like manage measurement on network, like network usage, the data consumption, IP address access, and so on and so forth. Okay. Here's the performance management. For example, we have a service level agreement, quality of service. So in our system, if a customer is provisions, and then it will be provisioned automatically on the device. Okay, so we kind of have like automation for that. Next is security management, like confidentiality, integrity, availability, and then non-repudiation. Confidentiality means if you want to send a package from A to B, usually this is very common way to explain the security. So you want to send, usually this is Alice, Bob, and then in the middle is Charlie. Very, very classic example. So confidentiality means even though Charlie is tapping in the middle, Charlie will not know the message. Okay, so that's confidentiality. Only appropriate person is able to read the message. Okay, so it's called confidentiality. The technique can be encryption, or yeah, usually is encryption. Integrity means the data that is sent from A is the same data that is received on B. Okay, that's integrity. And then availability means data is accessible anytime, because it's useless. Okay, okay, I have lots of data, but I'm not connected to the network, and then so that means I'm secure. Well, to some extent, yes, nobody reach you, but at the same time, we cannot access the data. Yeah, so yeah, that's an irony. So availability is also one important aspect of security. And the last one here, maybe it's not familiar for us. It's non-repudiation. It means a non-denial. Okay, so for example, this is often used in banking. Banking, yeah, banking. Yeah, for example, you want to transfer from A to B, but later on, the A party here is denying, okay, I didn't do that transfer. No, you cannot do that. Yeah, so there must be a procedure or way that you cannot deny that ones, the things that you already done. Okay, so yeah, so that was security. And next is about network monitoring. So network monitoring is the use of system that constantly monitors a computer, a network for, yeah, for example, a fault. If there is a fault happening, notify the network administrator in case of outages or other trouble. Network monitoring is part of network management. And for example, yeah, about the implementation itself, that you can use off-the-shelf software or customized applications. Yeah, sometimes we combine both of them because no one no one fits all. Okay, like there is no software that one fits all. Jadi, you have one software and then that software is can solve all of your requirements. No, it's not. Sometimes what we see, even though it's paid software, sometimes we have to do custom modification on that software. Okay. Oh, that's all. Very fast. Perhaps I can show some of the. Yeah. So only that. Any questions? Perhaps I can share my screen here. Any questions so far? No. So let's discuss about the fault management. So I just actually the webinar here. I just want to share about what we do in our. Perhaps it's not perfect because yeah, we have our own custom solution for our own network. So perhaps I can share something here. Okay, so in our lab testing lab. Okay, so this is, for example, we use Zabbix for our monitoring system. So it has yeah, so as you can see, this is Zabbix. Okay, we use our Zabbix for one tool of monitoring system. Yeah, what you can do is you configure all the hosts here. Okay, so this is in our lab environment. Yeah, it's quite. It takes time to generate the page because it looks like there are lots of data inside. Yeah, so yeah, Zabbix server is, we are using Zabbix here for monitoring. And then the platform we are using is Linux. Okay, the database we are using is Postgres. So as you can see, you put all the things here, the host, and then you check whether it's using the what kind of protocols it uses to monitor the device. In this case, we are using SNMP. Simple network management protocol is very common protocol for monitoring a network element. Others is JMX or IPMI, but most likely many network device provides SNMP support, so we can just using it. So after you have here, and then you can wait for several minutes to accumulate the graph. So here are the graph, for example, and then you can see the graph here. You can do monitoring. You click host, and then you can see here graph. Yeah, so that was the accounting management, like a network usage, data consumption, So here we only display based on the graph. Okay. What about the content? The content is stored in the database, but so if you want to retrieve, and then we have to take a look at the database. But if you want to manually get the data, and then we have to do some programming by utilizing the MikroTik API and then get the data. So, for example, here. So this is the MikroTik router OS. Oh, okay, it's not yet done. Yeah, so here it is, for example. Yeah, you can do, for example, yeah, it's like an interface here. You can check how many packets, how many bits that is flowing on particular interface. Okay. Or you can use, this is the number of bits. Okay, and then here's number of packets. Okay, PPS, packet per second. Here is BPS, bit per second. So those are very common parameters to measure your network if you want to see the performance of a particular network interface. Okay. And yeah, so this is one example. Okay, CPU utilization, this usage, yeah, Ether 1 interface, Ether 2 interface, Ether 3. Okay, you can see the speed here. Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, so for checking, so that was the fault management. One nice thing from the Zabbix here is it can store the one benefit if you have a monitoring system is you can do what is it, anomaly analysis. What's that mean? So for example, perhaps I can change the host. Okay, click the host. Okay, the filter graph. Yeah, so this one is rely heavily on database. So make sure if you run Zabbix, and then if the Zabbix is running on fast hardware, okay, so fast CPU, RAM, and then especially the hard disk. Make sure the hard disk is SSD. For example, I can display here network interface, and then the memory, this usage. Okay, and then the CPU, for example, we have multiple CPU here. And then I want to display in the last 1 day, and it takes time. Okay. Yeah, so like what I said, one benefit if you have a monitoring system is you can have anomaly analysis. Okay, so okay, let me show you in the minute after the graph is done. Yeah, for example, this one. Yeah, so for example, this one here. So this is the pattern of how a network traffic looks like. Okay, and then sometimes it happens here, for example. So there is a traffic peak up like this. Okay, and then by seeing the graph like this, you can see, oh, okay, perhaps there is a sudden traffic happening on the network, and then you can see, oh, okay, maybe, and then most of the time it's true. It's because of DDoS attack here. So we know that, okay, there is a DDoS happening at that particular time, and then we set up a script on MikroTik to block that particular IP address. Okay, so ether 3, ether 5, ether 6, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is one example. Oh, okay, I have a question. What's the benefit Zabbix compared to PRTG or Cacti? Well, PRTG requires money, so we don't use it. They look nice, but they're based on Windows. We don't want to pay license for Windows. So we use Linux, and then Zabbix is based on Linux. We can do many things here. And Cacti, yes, there is Cacti, but we see Cacti not as powerful as Zabbix. For example, there is no, we can see here, dashboard. Yeah, so that you can see it has like what I said, fault management. So it also has a fault monitoring, fault database, and fault analysis. As you can see here, we know that, okay, one particular interface on particular host is down, and then it checks. Oh, okay, so it was still down. We can click them here. Okay, so sometimes the the interface is up and down, up and down. We can see the history here. And then that particular feature is not available on Cacti. So if you want to display the graph, okay, you can use Cacti. Yeah, it is very nice, but sometimes it's not. You can use Cacti for graphing the traffic, but for, like what I said, now we are not only talking about the network monitoring, displaying graph, but we talk about network management. Okay. So this is how it looks like, and then we can, oh, okay, we acknowledge them. Yes, I am aware of this issue. Okay, and then acknowledge, update, and then it will not be visible here anymore. Okay, so interface while on one. So as you can see, this is host, and then here is the problem and severity. Okay, so we know that, okay, this host having problem, this host is not. So that's, I think, one benefit of using Zabbix. I'm not promoting Zabbix. Zabbix is open source, but some features is available here. Travis, how do you compare Zabbix to SolarWind? Advantages, disadvantages? Well, Zabbix is free, SolarWind maybe not. So yeah, we can add more. For example, screen here, we can put like a template for screen. We can add new screen, for example, traffic column is 4x4. So it's like a dashboard of a monitoring system. We can edit screen, for example, and then we can display on a very big screen. Yeah, so that big bosses know what's going on in the system. So let's say I put the ether 1 and then here it is. Done. Yeah, so in last 1 day, so we can display some graphic at the same time. Okay, so hopefully that answered the questions for Race Khan. Next, how do you characterize DDoS attack on line chart just now? Yeah, usually DDoS is characterized is we identify DDoS by checking or detecting there are lots of requests on particular that goes to particular IP address. So here there is a feature from MikroTik where you can check here how many connections happen on, where is it? Is it extra? Yeah, here, connection limit, okay. Yeah, so it detects how many connections, okay, per second. Yeah, so this way you can check is there any DDoS. We can, but sometimes that can be false positive. We block that IP address where the traffic is genuine traffic. Yeah, so we need to adjust a little bit for that. Okay, so that's how you detect DDoS here. Anyone else? Yeah, hopefully that answered the questions. Okay, and then by looking at the graph here, usually if you are having DDoS attack, yeah, sometimes it happens, not happens all the time, but it happens. Okay, so you can see there is a peak traffic like this. Oh, let me share if I have that example. That DDoS example, where is it? Oh, okay, perhaps this one. Yeah, for example, this one here. So this is one example of DDoS attack. So in one of our routers, yes, you can see traffic goes very high. Okay, and then something wrong happened here. So yeah, with a good monitoring or network management, and then you can see, oh, okay, something wrong happened in the system. Okay, anything else? Okay, let me check if I have some screenshot for that DDoS attack. No, really? Yeah, others is, for example, this is, so let's discuss. So first aspect is F, fault management, fault monitoring, and then our configuration management. For configuration management, so we are using Git here. So all MikroTik configurations can be stored into a single on plain text. Okay, so similar like Cisco running config. Okay, so it will display all or configuration on Cisco system. So here you can use export. Okay, it will do the same things like Cisco, like a Cisco does. Okay, so as you can see, so these are the configuration of this particular MikroTik device, and then you can save this configuration into a flat file, a plain text. Is it Hank? I can adjust my terminal. Oh, yeah. Terminal is okay, but this one looks like it's hangs. Yeah, so yeah, that's how you manage your configuration. You can back up your configuration by sending emails. So as you can see, there's a utility here for sending email, and then you can send email with attachment that contains the configuration of a particular device. And then every day you will receive lots of emails with attachment of your configuration. But we don't do, previously we do that, but now we choose Git for that. So we can compare today and then yesterday's configuration. Okay, so that was the configuration management. Backup restore is okay because we have the configuration. Of course, for that configuration, for this kind of features, for managing the configurations, you cannot done. Yeah, even though this is called configuration, but it's nothing to do with the configuration of the interface. I mean, for the device. Okay, so it's just configuration for the host itself, the IP addresses, the username and password. That's all. But the configuration itself, no, Zabbix cannot do that. So we develop our own script for that. So that's why, yeah, in the previous webinar we talk a lot about the automation, and yeah, so that really helps doing the job. Okay, so that was the configuration management, and then here's the accounting. For accounting, displaying the network usage and so on and so forth. That can be seen here. Okay, we can see that a particular device is up or not. Oh yeah, this number here is very important if you're running Zabbix server. Okay, so this is the parameters that you need to care about, especially this one. Okay, so it means that new values per second. Yeah, so every second, Zabbix store records into the database. So make sure your system is capable of doing the job. So currently, because this Zabbix server is low, so that's why the number here is only 15 or 16. But in our productions, the number goes to 200 something. Okay. Sometimes if you are monitoring lots of nodes, and then the number can be 300, 500 or 1000. Okay, so it means that you need to have very good hardware for Zabbix configuration, and then you have to do tuning on Linux server to accommodate the Zabbix configuration. Okay. Yeah, what else? Oh, okay. There is a question here. Do we need Linux skill to use Zabbix? Well, for using Zabbix itself, no. But installing Zabbix and then maintaining the Zabbix, yes. Which is better, Zabbix or Nagios? I would say Zabbix is very good for monitoring, like fault management, fault analysis, so on and so forth. Zabbix cannot do configuration management. You have to do it your own. Accounting management, yes, okay, for some extent. But never show you the data consumption, how many megabytes, you cannot do that. So for this one, you can use a solution from Radius Manager if you are. But in one of my clients, they don't they don't charge their customer based on the data consumption, like how many megabytes you already consume, and then here's the money that you have to pay. No, it's just unlimited connection. So we just maintain, okay, you already pay or not. Yeah, so that's why we develop a, let me show, like developing the billing. Okay, so it's make sure that, okay, you already pay, you already, your packets, I mean, you already pay for the packets or or not. Okay. Okay, let me show you here. So hopefully it's here. Okay, so this is one example of our billing. Make sure that, okay, you already pay the money here. Okay, and then there is actually a parameters where the package is expired. Okay, so that one is part of accounting management as well, right? Okay, so make sure that, okay, so if you are already past the date and then your package will be expired. If you don't have enough money, and then your package will be expired. You cannot access internet anymore. You have to put some money so that the uh, the internet can be activated automatically. So this one here requires a programming skill. Okay. Okay, for performance, yes, yes, service level agreement, quality of service. So that one requires, let me show you our test system. Yeah, for example, this is management of quality of service. Okay, I cannot show you the whole entries here, but you can see. Yeah, so there is a profile here, and then as you can see, we generate the QoS manually. Okay, because yeah, we can do customizations for that. So yeah, and then this one requires programming skills. Okay, so that was the performance management. Yeah, security management. Yeah, depends. So we implement username and password. So the customer must must know the username and password. We don't do like OTP. Yeah, that makes us headache, and then no business significant. We can do that, yes. It means that we put more effort and money for OTP, but it doesn't mean it will increase the business. So when we talk about network management, it's not always technical, but also part of management. Okay, so yeah, that's all I think about the webinar tonight. So hopefully you guys have an idea about how you're doing the network management. So what we're talking tonight is about how you manage networks, not only monitoring. Okay, monitoring is just part of the network management. Okay, again, network management. Oh, okay, I have a question here. Can we get any step-by-step guide or file how to install Zabbix? Well, Well, Zabbix. I mean, for me, Zabbix is Zabbix. Zabbix installation is quite straightforward here on their website. You can follow them along. Okay, come on, Zabbix, Zabbix, Zabbix. Yeah, you can see them here. How you install the Zabbix. Okay, so now Zabbix latest version is 5.4. Yeah, you can see product. Where is it? Ah, just maybe this. Okay, some one of the page here, or you can just, oh yeah, here, the download and install Zabbix. So choose your platform, for example, use 5.0 LTS, and then distribution, for example, Debian. Use Debian 10, database PostgreSQL, I use Apache, and then, okay, so this is Zabbix repository, and then install, and then configure this. So in our installation, we don't use them. We use our own custom because we don't. We are using container instead of virtual machine. So we kind of the installation is kind of a little bit different than what it's provided here. Okay, so yeah, that's about Zabbix. Oh yeah, what about this? Yeah, so like what I said, one aspect for network management is for fault management. That at least it will give you fault monitoring, and then notification if there is the fault happens. So here we develop an interface for WhatsApp. Okay, so you can just type a number here. So hopefully it can send the WhatsApp. Is it sent? Okay, let me check. No, it's not. Looks like there is an issue in the backend. I will check it later. Others, an idea about how to check software is you can see it here. Okay, so for notifications, yeah, there is a trigger here. Yeah, triggers top 10. Okay, so okay, it says high CPU. Wow. So CPU number 5 here. Oh, sorry. Yeah, CPU. Yeah, so you can use a trigger here where you can do something if a fault happens. Okay, so yeah, that was about Zabbix. Any more questions? Yeah, so as I said, the topic today is about managing networks, and then managing network is not always about the monitoring network, but managing network is a big topic, and then it's not like a silver bullet. So you just buy one software and then that software can do everything for you. So most of the time when I work in the network, sometimes you have to do custom solution to fulfill your requirements. Okay, so yeah, that was live practice. If you are interested, just come to our training. Yeah, you cannot come because there's a pandemic happening now, but we can do online training. This is end of slides. So if please submit your feedback here. Okay, let me put in the group chat about the feedback. So you can just click and then fill the feedback. So your feedback is very important for us, and then you can put your suggestions for the future topics. Website, yeah, the recording will be put in our website. We also have Facebook page. Slides will be available on Slideshare after this, and then recording will be available on YouTube. All right. So any more questions? Oh, okay, I have one here. Your gigs. Are you using Doodoo to manage empty magnetic device with AR pros and cons? Doodoo, what is Doodoo? So this is my first time here at Doodoo. We manage the the MikroTik using script. Okay, so let me show you. So for example, oh, the dude. Oh, oh, the dude. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, we don't use dude. Yeah, I know there is a dude, but we don't use it. We use Zabbix. Why? Because it can stay longer. It has also feature for fault management here. But you can use dude. Yeah. So again, this is FCAP is just a framework, that one framework where it can show you, okay, so if you want to manage a network, and then these are some aspects that you need to care of the FCAPs. Okay, about the implementation itself, well, you know better on your network better than anyone else, right? So yeah, for implementation, you can use the Dude or any other software. I just heard some strong don't use Dude. Yeah, we don't use Dude. Yeah, Dude can be installed on MikroTik, but yeah, we don't use the Dude. We use Zabbix. Okay. Yeah, I can show you here the way we manage the configurations by using scripts. So for examples, yeah. Okay, so let's say I have lots of entries here on. You can see Mangle tables. Okay, you can see them here. Okay, and then you run the script, and then it will generate the Mangle table automatically, as you can see here. Okay, I'm not doing anything. Okay, I'm not doing magic here. But as you can see, it generates the rules automatically. Okay. Yeah. So if you delete some of them accidentally, for example, this one, oh, I told you not to delete them. Be careful. Okay, just run the script again, and then you will get your rules back. So I think in the future, yeah, automation plays important roles on a network. Yeah, so we as a network engineer, well, at least must have a kind of skills for programming. Yeah, see, role is back. Okay, just wait until it's finished. It will regenerate the rules. Okay, it's done. Less than 1 minute. What there is a one question here. What Unix uses MikroTik device? Sorry, I don't understand your question here. We use Linux. Yeah, for our monitoring platform is Linux based. Yeah, so we use Linux, and then yeah, because I'm Red Hat certified, so I know how to use Red Hat or CentOS, but we don't want to use it because it's quite hard to do an upgrade from one version to the updated version. So we prefer to use Debian or Ubuntu. Okay, that hopefully that answer the questions. Okay. Oh, okay. So it's already 2041. Well, if there is no questions, it's time to have a photo session. Yeah. Okay, guys, please upload and turn on your camera. So hopefully you get some idea about how you manage network today. Sorry, I must leave this meeting. Okay, no worries. Okay, but at least you have some time to photo session. Okay. Okay, let me count. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thumbs up, thumbs up. 1, 2, and 3. Yes. Okay, the next page. 1, 2, and 3. Yes. Next page. Oh no, it's finished. Guys, again, thank you very much for coming. I can see here some of you are familiar here. Yeah, previously you have attended the webinar previously. So again, thank you very much. And then see you in the next webinar. Right. Have a nice day and take care. Stay safe. Bye.